After he rose from the dead, his 12 disciples and 7 women continued to be his followers and went to Galilee on the mountain called Divination and Joy. After gathering together, they debated about the nature of the material world and its arrangement, and the spiritual path, the power of the demigods, and all the confidential guidance the Saviour had provided. The Saviour appeared not in his earlier form, but in his ethereal spirit. His appearance was like a beautiful illuminated angel, but I cannot properly describe his appearance. No material body could bear this, only the purified spiritual body. Then Jesus said, "Peace be to you. I give you my peace." Then they were all astonished and afraid. The Saviour laughed and asked them, "What were you thinking? Are you confused? What do you seek?" Philip said, "About the nature of the material world and the purpose." The Saviour said, "Understand that every person born into the material world, from the beginning until now, has been covered by matter. They may have sought God, who He is and what He is like, but could not find Him. Now the wisest of them has speculated about the arrangement of the material world and how it moves. But their speculation cannot find the truth. The various philosophers suggest that there are 3 possible managing arrangements, but they don't agree. Some of them say the material world is self-managed. Others say the material world is managed by providence. Still others, that it is fate. Again, none of these 3 teachings I have just described approach the truth. They come from mortality. Yet I am here, and I come from the infinite light. Because I know this light, I can tell you about the exact nature of the truth. For whatever comes from selfishness is polluted. It is self-centered. There is no wisdom within providence, and fate does not discriminate. But you are given the ability to understand, and those worthy of wisdom will receive it. But not one who was born from the planting of unclean chaff, rather by the first messenger. For he is spiritual in the midst of mortals. Matthew said to him, "Master, one cannot discover truth except through you. Therefore teach us the truth." The Saviour said, "That which is ineffable, it is known by no principle, not by authority or indenture, nor by any person from the beginning of the world until the present, except that alone. And anyone to whom he wishes to reveal himself through the eternal effulgence." I now deliver to you his opulence, because it is transcendental and limitless. It is eternal and unborn. For anyone who is born will die. It is unborn and has no beginning, because anyone with a beginning has an end. Since no one has authority over this, it accounts to no one, because one who accounts to another is the creation of another. It is unaccountable. Its form is not mortal, because the mortal form is the creation of another. So that has an exclusive appearance, nothing like you have seen and conceived, but a divine appearance that exceeds all things and transcends the universe. It sees everywhere and is reflected by only itself. For that is eternal. It is always unknowable. It is imperishable and cannot be compared. It is enduring goodness. It is flawless. It is everlasting. It is exalted. It is unknown, but always knows itself. It is unfathomable. It is unforeseeable. It is perfect, without flaw. It is inexhaustibly divine. It is called the Creator of the universe. Philip asked, "Master, how then is this revealed to the perfect ones?" The Saviour answered, "Before anything visible to them becomes manifest, the majesty and the sanctuary are within. This envelops the entire creation, and nothing envelops this. It is completely spiritual. So it is wisdom itself. Understanding, reflective, rational, and powerful. These are similar potencies. They are the sources of the cosmic manifestation. And their entire progression from beginning to end came with this foresight: the eternal, unborn Creator. Everything that comes from the mortal will perish, because it came from the perishable. But that which comes from the eternal never perishes, but becomes indestructible. Many people have become lost because they didn't know this divergence and they perished. Mary asked him, "Master, how then can we understand this?" The Saviour replied, "Arise from the unseen to the margins of those that are seen, and the emergence of wisdom will reveal to you that trusting in that which is unseen is found among those who are seen, those who belong to the unborn source." This is my reason for coming here, in order to join together the spirit and the breath. Thus the two may become united, just as they were in the beginning, so that you might yield much fruit and go up to that, the original cause, the source, with the eternal bliss, majesty, esteem, and grace from the Creator of the universe. Therefore, one who perceives the source with perfect understanding will go to the source and rest with the unborn Creator. But one who perceives this in error will go towards that error, not resting in the source. So one who confidentially knows the eternal effulgent Spirit through the reflection and understanding of the truth, let them deliver to me the signs of the unseen one, and they will become illuminated by the indescribable Spirit